To the Prepare for the Virtual Career Fair workshop. I am here joined by Dr. Vanessa Lee, and I'll let her introduce herself here in a moment, but my name is Michelle Gomez. I work in the Career Center and I support our employer relations department. So Romy, who also is with us today, we help to facilitate a lot of the career fairs that happen on campus. And we are excited to be able to share with you this workshop so that you'll feel prepared and be able to give your best foot forward to make a great impression at the virtual teacher career fair we have coming up next week. So I will go ahead and let Dr. Vanessa Lee also introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vanessa Lee. Vanessa is fine. No need for doctor. I'm Vanessa Lee. I am the career specialist for graduate students and international students here at UC Riverside Career Center. I will be co-presenting with Michelle today.
All right. And then I would love, Romy, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Sure. I'm Romy Robinson, no doctor here, just Romy. But I am the events manager at the Career Center and I have been here for a good 6 months. Nice to meet y'all.
So you may have noticed, but we are going to be recording this workshop. We've had some requests that we do that, and so we want to make this available to you as well after we're done today. So, and then as you may know, in addition to this workshop, we're also going to have resume reviews coming up around 5. So if you entered in via the Handshake link that was provided in the Handshake event, you should be checked in. And basically, for those of you who already signed up for a resume review slot, you've been notified, and there should have been a confirmation email sent today about that slot. But for those of you who weren't able to sign up for a 15-minute slot, we do have open slots available, and we will have it'll be first come, first serve based on when you checked in today. So we'll go ahead and, start filling in the slots based on those who are interested in participating in the resume reviews after the workshop is completed. So with that, if there are any questions, we will be utilizing the chat throughout this workshop, but because we're recording, we're gonna go ahead and wait for questions at the end, but we'll definitely make time for Q&A. So if there's anything that we mentioned that you want to know more about, we're happy to go into that a little bit more. So with that, we'll go ahead and share our slides for you. If you want to put that on the screen for us, Romy, that would be great. All right. Perfect. So welcome again to the Prepare for the Virtual Job Fair. Just from a quick kind of show of thumbs, or maybe hands, because I think we all know how to use our reaction buttons now. How many of you have attended a virtual career fair on Handshake before? And scrolling. Okay, looks like we have a lot of newcomers. So you are in the right place then, because we hopefully will help demystify that process. We want this to be a smooth experience for you. So, all right, we can go to the next slide, Romy. All right, so these are just some learning objectives we have for you today. We want you to walk away knowing how to prepare for the virtual career fair, understand how to navigate the virtual fair via Handshake, which is the platform that we will be utilizing, as well as learn interviewing techniques and tips to succeed in a virtual interview environment. You'll see these are some different careers management skills that we hope that you will take away from this workshop. So starting with what is a virtual career fair? Some of you may have participated in other virtual career fairs, maybe not via Handshake. I know that the last 2 years that has been the primary mode of recruitment. So, but basically this is a virtual networking event, and it's an opportunity for you to meet with employers, to be able to set up one-on-ones and group sessions. And it's really can be an exploratory opportunity to explore job and internship opportunities. So every fair has a little bit different kind of nuance, but via Handshake, they all look pretty the same. So we're going to dive in a little bit to help you kind of visualize what this day will look like. So Romy is going to share with you a video, and this is going to be a great summary to capture kind of what we're going to talk about today. And we will make this link available afterwards as well. And we might have to reshare with the audio, Romy. We still can't hear it. Do you want me to share on my screen? It's here. I'm going to go ahead and reshare if that's okay, Romy.
Yes, please do.
Okay. Thanks. All right. All right, thank you. So there was a lot in that video. And so I don't want you to get overwhelmed in the details. We're gonna dive in on some of these things, and we will make this link available as a refresher. So as you could see from the video, there are different components to the virtual fair. So we have one-on-ones and we have group sessions. And so employers, as of right now, are getting into Handshake. They're creating their sessions. Some are still creating their sessions. So if you've already been in there, you might be wondering why you're not seeing a certain employer that you know is attending. And I would just say keep checking back because that is still happening. But now is the time for students to go in and register, to be able to view and start researching the companies they want to meet with and to sign up in advance. So you really are going to get kind of that advantage if you sign up in advance because these are first come, first served slots. So we'll talk about that in a moment. So we can go to the next slide. All right, so just going to talk briefly about what's kind of the difference between the one-on-one and the group session. Go to the next slide. So with group sessions, these are meant to be more exploratory and informational. Any student can attend and they can be up to 30 minutes long. Students, you can enter in, up to 5 minutes beforehand. So, obviously it may look similar to Zoom. There's kind of a raise hand feature and chat. If it's a smaller group, you can be on video and audio. If it's over a certain number, you'll automatically have your audio and video turned off, but you can kind of request to ask a question. So it just depends on the size. But again, this is really a great opportunity, even though it is exploratory and informational, and some employers may choose to only do group sessions. So if this is your one way that you get to interact with an employer of choice, I encourage you to keep your video on if you're able, ask questions, interact via the chat. But this is a great way to learn more about the organizations and what kind of opportunities that they have. So just some quick tips. You may be the only one that is signed up for that group session. So you still want to come prepared, even though, again, this might be more exploratory. And also be aware that Handshake doesn't allow you to record those conversations. So it's really up to you to take good notes, have a notebook nearby and write down anything you want to remember, and definitely contact information if you can. And it's always a good idea to send a follow-up message via LinkedIn, just to continue to establish that connection. So for one-on-ones, these are a little bit more, they're not formal interviews, but they can be used for screening. They are only 10 minutes long. So this is going to be probably the biggest difference to what you would expect going into a normal interview situation. So you really need to be very succinct with your ideas of what you want to, what questions you have, what information you want to convey, and they're going to have questions for you too. So that's why coming prepared to the one-on-one will be really important so that you can make sure that you're able to make the most of that time. There is also the chat is available. Employer can share the screen. But yeah, it pretty much looks as you see it here. So some tips for the one-on-one, and we've heard this from other students, in addition to being on time, but don't overbook yourself. Sessions will move fast. And sometimes, even it's employers that are, getting off schedule, at a certain point, Handshake will cut you off. So you want to do your best to maybe even leave a little bit of buffer if you have a few kind of one-on-ones back to back, just to make sure you're giving yourself a breather and just in case you're not making yourself late for another one-on-one. So those are some things to think about. And as I mentioned before, doing your research and coming prepared with questions will help you to stand out. And then these are just some other tips for the one-on-one, but I would, even though this is virtual, I would treat this like this is as if you were walking into a career fair and wanting to make a great first impression. So make sure that you treat this like a professional networking opportunity. So with that, I'm actually going to turn it over to our guru, Vanessa, to talk about how to prepare for the fair.
All right. So as Michelle mentioned, you have to treat it like we're in person, right? So I would recommend that we put together a teacher's prep packet for you. So there are resume samples and then other tips. So some of the things that we discussed will be in that packet. So make sure that I tell students that just register early. As Michelle mentioned, sometimes gets really packed with the day. To register already, you can pick and choose your session time. So then you can actually have better control of that schedule. And sometimes it helps you to actually get to see your the employers you want to see, because a lot of times you register late, the times can be gone in just like that. So I would definitely look at the schedule, research your employer, okay? And look into the school sites, or if you know these school districts already, I would say maybe talk with people a little bit about tips, what you should be preparing yourself for. And really kind of prioritize the ones that you really, really, really want to meet, and that will really help, just because it can get really busy. Have a list of questions, and these should be things that we will talk a little bit about that a little bit, what you should be asking, but what you want to ask. But you need to make sure you have a list of those things ready, and practice. And practice, practice, practice. I tell students, anytime you have either face-to-face or email interaction with the employer, consider that as an interview, even though it's not a formal interview. So practice makes perfect. It's possible. So the question is possible, but sometimes they said it right there because they may be late during the session. Okay, so you've probably heard of this. It's either known as the 30-second pitch or elevator pitch. So you want to have what I like to tell students of your professional narrative ready before you go into the session. So the reason why is you don't go and have that awkward silence, because sometimes it's a little awkward, right? Regardless why meeting a new person and person you don't know, or you feel like a little anxious, you want to make a good impression. So have this ready so you don't go in and just have crickets all over for a few seconds. Want to make best of your time. So we do have some example, but here is an example. And I know you all are teachers, so you know who you are, you know how you want to be known. So have that idea ready and think about you're having a conversation with that person, right? You're really good at talking to students, working with your colleagues. So I'm pretty sure you will do a great job in this. So think about what you want to be known for, who you are, and then talk a little about the goal. Don't just go in and say, I want a job. This is who I am, I want a job. Ask a little bit about, what kind of positions, or if you have done research, you should say, I'm interested in X, Y, Z. So, all right. I think that's me.
All right, thank you, Vanessa. I was just going to answer Jessica's question, so I'll just verbally say, for those of you who maybe popped in after our initial announcement, for resume reviews, if you have checked in via the Handshake event link, we've already had some who've pre-signed up for slots, and so you've already been communicated that confirmation, but we do have open slots and we'll make them available first come, first serve based on when you checked in. So make sure, maybe Vanessa, you can pop that Handshake event link in the chat in case folks need to do that. So I'm going to jump into just some quick tips about how to maximize your career fair experience. So really important, this is one of the biggest differences between any other career fair. Because we are virtual, it's really important that you are testing your technology. So if anything, I'm sure that will prepare you for teaching as we know it right now. We're all learning a lot about technology. So, make sure that you have some reliable internet during the event. I recommend to test your audio and video. There's a link here. And again, we're going to make these slides available after the fact. So you'll be able to click on these links as needed. But I would do a test. Google Chrome is actually the best browser to use for the Handshake platform. So we do find that people have sometimes technical issues when they're not using Google Chrome. And then as a backup, just to know there is a Handshake app. So if you are experiencing any difficulties, just know that that's a possibility to enter into your sessions via the Handshake app as well. But some things to do between now and then is you want to complete your profile. Employers have the ability to set qualifications on their schedules. So there could be some of you that, maybe they're only interested in meeting with students that have a multi-subject credential. But if you don't have that updated on your profile, you may not have, even though you meet those qualifications, you wouldn't be able to sign up for a one-on-one with that employer. So you do want to go into Handshake and make sure that you are updating your education, your work experience, organization, courses, projects. The most critical information that relates to qualifications are going to be your graduation date, again, education, work authorization. So try to complete it as much as you can, just to make sure that you're not limiting yourself on signing up for any sessions. And then make sure to upload your resume. And you want to make sure that it actually is visible to employers. So if you sign up for a session, they'll be able to view that resume during your appointment. And that's obviously a very important piece for them to get in touch with you after the fact. So make sure to do that and make it public before you start the fair. So after you have done some of that prep, and we've talked already about all the things that you should do before the fair. So now on the day of the fair, wanted to give you, we do have some students that are like, where do I go? I don't even know how to get to the event. So the event is actually in the same place where you go to register for the event. So it's going to be in that same Handshake event page, but you're going to see a couple different buttons, on your page once the event is happening. So to navigate to the career fair, you would either you can see in that first image on the right side, typically the fair when it's happening will be right there and your schedule. But you can also go to events and to career fairs to find the career fair. You'll click on, if you already have signed up for sessions, you'll go straight to your sessions. There's a tab, that middle tab, and it'll have your schedule already listed with, clickable buttons to join the video meeting. If you have not signed up for your sessions, then you're going to need to do that before you can actually enter into sessions. So Romy will be doing a demo here in a moment, so you can kind of see what that looks like. But that's pretty much where you'll need to go. And then the final piece is we will have Career Center staff available in a Zoom room up to an hour before the event and then throughout the duration of the event. So you'll see when the event is live, there'll be a Career Center Zoom room support link right there on the home page. So you can always click on that and it'll send you to us. So if you get stuck and you're like, I don't know what to do next, come and see us and we'll be there to help you get to your next thing. And I will pass it on to Vanessa to talk about the interview itself.
All right, I need to learn to mute myself correctly or unmute myself. All right, so I mentioned earlier, when you talk with the recruiters or the representative, really need to treat it like a conversation, formal conversation, but conversation nonetheless. I know it's nerve-wracking, you're trying to get a position with them or perhaps learn more about what they do. Think about what you really want to know. Okay, it's not necessarily, how should I say this? It's not necessarily like kind of come and sound like robotic because that's what other people ask. I would say these are suggested questions that you will see on the screen. What kind of skills, experience are you looking for? But when you do ask these questions, make sure you really want to know that, okay? They may ask you follow-up if you're just becoming robotic and then you don't know what to say after that. And think about what are things important to you about this position, about this school district, what information that you can get that will better prepare you for a potential interview, and what will prepare you when you prepare when you get your materials ready to be that candidate they want to talk to. So this is really a good time to gather that information. And when you ask questions that they think that you care a lot, that's a plus in their book, right? So they have good impression of you. So I'm not saying it happens all the time, but oftentimes when they have good impression of you, chances of you winning interview could be pretty high. Okay, so I definitely will really think using these as sample questions, but thinking about what you want to know, why you want to know these questions. How are these questions going to help prepare you? Oh, I think are we doing the demo after this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so from here, we're going to transition and let Romy, she's going to show you live the Handshake career fair. And that way you can see what it will look like for you to get in there and start signing up for sessions. So Romy?
Great. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Because I'm not a student, I'm going to log in as a student. Okay, so as a student, your page would look similar to this when you're in your profile. The first step I would do is click on events. Well, the career fair is right here, so I'll go ahead and click on this. Uh-oh, it timed me out. Hold on one second. Okay, so right here where it says available sessions, this is what your page is going to look like if you already registered. And just to ensure that you are actually attending the fair, you do need to create sessions. So you do need to join sessions in order to actually be in the fair. A lot of the questions that we get in our Zoom room is, where do I go? So basically you would click on, before you even go to your sessions, you would have to click on available sessions to see what's available from the various school districts. So all I did was click on available sessions, and now I see a whole list of employers that are going to be attending this fair. And it looks like Hayward has a lot of availability. So once you click in the group session, all you have to do is hit confirm. Once that happens, it'll populate into your schedule, which is right here towards the middle. And once you click on these different sessions that you want to see, it'll show a whole list of your schedule. So basically, this will populate all the sessions that you have. Then 5 minutes, I think, before the session actually starts, there's going to be a blue link that says join, and all you have to do is click join, and then you'll be meeting with the employers. The other step that we talked about was updating your profile. So all you have to do is hit your little icon right there, My Profile, and then you would go through the various tabs to fill out your profile. So that's what it looks like. And then I believe uploading your document is right at the bottom corner. So uploading your resume, your cover letters, anything that you want the employer to see. Is there anything else you want me to cover, Michelle?
Could you maybe do like a, like go ahead and maybe oh, I'm sorry. Did you show how to upload the resume and make it visible?
Oh, I didn't do that part. So click on upload. Oh, that's the community, right?
Yeah, you can get there either way, so that works.
Okay, because I haven't actually done this part.
Yeah, you can do it on My Documents.
Okay.
And so you can just select any document for now.
Okay.
Fix it on the back
Notice
end.
of cancellation. Okay.
Perfect. And then it'll ask you that blue button that says feature on profile. You'll click on that, and then that will automatically now make it visible on your profile to employers.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Is there a way I can delete this from here?
Yeah, I'll help you on the back end. Or receive to the document on the right.
Okay.
Yeah. So one thing that I did see a question regarding a specific school district. So obviously, put myself back on here. Obviously, you know, the best way to kind of research and kind of see who's going to be attending is going to be via handshake. However, I did put together an initial spreadsheet. I have to say there has been a couple registrations that have come in just in the last kind of 24 hours. So I think we're missing like one or two on this list, but this is a spreadsheet that I went ahead and I did a little bit of work to help you guys out. And it's broken up by position type. So there's some that are looking specifically for multi-credential, single credential, multi-subject, single subject, special ed, early childhood development, admin, counselors and social workers. And then we have a tab for non-credentialed positions. So for those of you that are in undergraduate program, but interested in education, there are definitely employers that are interested in meeting with you. And I would say there's actually a lot, as you know, the state of affairs with education, school districts too are very open to meeting with undergraduates who might be interested in substitute teaching. So definitely I would take advantage if any of you are joining that are not in a credentialed program. So that is a resource for you to help you with your research. Romy, maybe we can go back to the slides and Vanessa can talk a little bit about resources.
I think we're in the presenter mode. Yeah. Sorry, still in presenter mode.
Oh, I think I have multiples up. Hold on.
Okay, no worries. Sorry. So while Romy's doing that, I just want to share with you that Michelle is talking about how there may be a lot of opportunities for everybody. So as you know, this is kind of a job seekers market. But I think one thing very, very important is you still need to really make best impression. So we didn't talk about this, but you still need to dress the part. Even, I mean, like what I'm wearing right now, it looks fashionable. It's hot today. I don't want to go take my summer wardrobe because I don't see anybody really today. So this is probably not appropriate, just FYI, right? So what Michelle wearing is great. Try to find a place. Don't be outdoor because you never know what sounds are gonna be absorbed in your mic. And even pants, right? So wear that as well, because one time I was at home meeting with my team, and then my dog knocked my computer over. So basically showed my legs are wearing shorts. And then my colleagues were saying, "Oh, you're wearing shorts." I was like, yes, I am. Luckily, it was just my colleagues, right? So you never know what's going to happen. So just really prepare. And also once you dress like that, you feel like you're in the zone. So I really recommend that. So what we can do to help you is, if you're unable to meet with the recruiters or representatives for resume review after our session today, there's still a bunch to sign up. The link that I dropped, you can sign up to, it's I think till 4 o'clock. So maybe they can sign up. So just stick around. I think they will, if you're interested in the review, our team will help you get a spot. But if you cannot do that, I really think you can utilize our our Express Career Advising. Sorry, it says drop-in appointment, but it's Express Career Advising. We have a few virtual spots if you're unable to make it to campus. If you are able to make it to campus, we do have some in-person ones every day. You can see that schedule on our Career Center website, which I'm going to drop it here. You should be able to see, scroll down a little bit and see the Express Career Advising schedule to see who's on when. So please get your resume critique. We sometimes will get the students to ask about resume right before they have to go see an employer. I will be a little too late. Just number one thing, please don't put any pictures. It doesn't need to be fancy. Okay, the resume needs to be easy to read. Always think about who is your audience. What are you showing them? Make sure you really highlight any teaching experience that you have that's relevant. Paid or unpaid, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's very important. So we have these appointments to help you. Because unfortunately, like for example, I'm packed next week, so I will not have any appointments available for one-on-one resume critique if you haven't signed up already. And our Express Career Advising hours probably really your best option right now. Let's see, I'm gonna have you go to the next slide. Oh, yes. Woo. So we do have a few links that you should be able to take a look at in case you are still unfamiliar with how to navigate our virtual career fair. And I will answer your question, Sylvia, in 2 seconds. And there are also different ways to do look at video requirement troubleshooting. I think Michelle there, Romy already mentioned what system may work better. And then, they have tutorials just in case you're unable to get it to work. But I would say, make sure you spend just at least take an hour, half an hour, squeeze time out of your busy schedule, take a look before you attend. It's really important not wait till the last minute to do that. We do understand sometimes there are some technical issues, and that's what we're here for. So myself and Romy and our colleague Denise and Michelle, I think will also be around that day. We should be able to have a Zoom support room. So if you have any questions, pop in, ask this question. We'll try to troubleshoot as best as possible. Let's see, the question is CV okay to submit? Well, so the difference between a CV and resume is CV can be, long, right? CV is basically what I like to call master resume. Anything you have done since college, you have it in there and divide it into very specific categories. Resume tend to be a little bit more specific, so they should be more tailored. I usually recommend just a page, put most relevant information for what you're applying for on that. It will be better because think about your reader. If they're gonna read like 100 of these documents, if you're super long and not organized, it may be very hard for them and also does not make a good impression. Just really remember, am I providing information that's easy for them to read, get the information they want out of it very quickly? Remember, your resume is not written for you. Your resume is going to be written for your reader. Okay, so really think about what's important to them, not what you want to say. Give an example, you're demonstrating enough of what they are asking for, what you have done to demonstrate. I always tell students, I mean, some of you probably heard me saying this, you have met with me already. Please advocate for your skills. You have to be your own advocate of things that you have done. So make sure you make a little bit descriptive, not necessarily write paragraphs, but I would say give a little context. Don't just say manage classroom. Don't just say taught history for ninth graders. You know, sure, that's fine, but it doesn't give me enough context. Talk about how you've done that, how you manage classrooms, what kind of technology have you used. Many of you probably had to adapt the whole in-person, virtual, and hybrid learning. That's very useful to know that you can do that. Okay, so really don't skim on your achievement and the skill set that you have. Talk about them and then cut into one page. Make sure that they are all relevant. Let's say if you have been, let's say, a software engineer in your previous life and you're coming back to be a teacher, maybe a lot of those may not be as relevant. Keeping mostly your teaching and some community service experience will probably be best. All right, so that's all the presentation. We're gonna be spending some time doing Q&A, so thank you so much.
We can probably stop sharing now, Romy. Maybe we can go ahead and I'm gonna remove the spotlight so we can all see each other.
Mm-hmm. You want to stop recording? So.
Yeah.